Hello and welcome back to the channel, episode 36 of the Case of the Blues. I'm Case. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not going to lie, I've just spent the last 20 minutes to 30 minutes doing another video to find out I made the same mistake that I did on the live stream against Tottenham, and my mic wasn't working, so I had to reset the computer and go again. Thankfully, it's working now, so we can try and get this done quickly. But an absolute stinker, but yeah, could probably just skip to the second half if that's the case and we'll get to the best bits. But you know what? We won't do that. We will talk about some of the talking points before the game. That being the team selection. Enzo Maresca under fire again for his team selection. A lot of people moaning online at the fact that, he's rested certain players against Brentford and they haven't started today. What was the point? Then moaning that he's risking the Premier League or the Champions League positions. Everybody knows my thoughts on Enzo Maresca already. The only problem that I had in this lineup today is that if he is doing this resting thing, surely it would make sense to rest the player that's the most injury prone out of all of them, and that's Reece James, and not put him in a central midfield position where he's going to probably be working harder, running more, twisting, turning, all the things that you think could give you an injury in that position. That's the only thing for me that didn't make sense. We've got a Mugu there that we signed in January. Sorry if I've said that wrong. Obviously, he's not trusted yet. Obviously, he hasn't played many games. He hasn't come on. I haven't seen him play much. So I kind of understand why that wouldn't be an option. But at the same time, why don't you just start one of the other centre midfielders then? Oh, that you'd rather prioritise the fitness and of Reece James than you would the others at the moment in time because he's more injury prone. But that aside, I thought that the lineup itself was good enough to win the game. I expect to win these games. It's the Europa Conference League, this prestige competition that we're in. But, the quality of the teams is not all there. So we should be beating them. But yeah, then we start off with the lineup. We had Jorgensen in goal, Gusto at left back, Badiashile, Tosin, Achiampong, Dewsbury Hall, James, Sancho, Palmer, Tyreek George, and then Kunku up top. And I'll be honest with you, that first half, everything about that first half was everything that a lot of Chelsea fans have been moaning at over the past few months. This robotic, systematic, controlled, micromanaged football that nobody wants to see. It's not entertaining, it's boring. And I think the stats, when I get them up, are an exact reflection of that first half. I went into that second half. Obviously, it was 0-0 going into the second half, but I've gone in at half time going like, what is this? What is this boring football? I'm falling asleep. We're not no creativity, no intensity, slow passing backwards. We're not really working it well into the box. And, at half time, I was saying, I can't believe the fall off in this attack and how bad they've got compared to the first half of the season where, we had free flowing attacking football. Now, the second half is a different story. We come out in that second half and we make the change with Noni Madueke coming on for Cole Palmer. And I kind of think Enzo Maresca turned around and said to them, listen, lads, you know what? Forget my tactics. You just go out there and play. Because it was free for flowing attacking football. And, Noni Madueke and Jadon Sancho, for that matter, they really changed the intensity of the game in that second half, more direct, running at them, trying to take on their players. The passing was a lot quicker. The movement was better. Everything about that second half was way, way better than the first. And if we can play like that going forward in other games, I don't think we'll struggle. I think we'll find it easy to score a lot more goals. I mean, if you're going in 0-0 at half time against Legia Warsaw and you're struggling to score, it don't say much going forward. Even the Premier League teams and the rest of the competition, we should be smashing these teams. But you know what? The second half made up for that first half because it was a lot better. It was drastically better. And you can see that in the stats. If I get the stats up, you've got the first half stats. Expected goals, 0.51. Possession, 76% possession. Total shots, 10, 2 on target, 0 big chances. And that kind of just says it all, doesn't it? It's just control-based passing, possession. It's just, for me, not exciting to watch. Like, I would sacrifice 26% of that ball possession, just to get a little bit more creativity, more attacking intent, more chances on like clear-cut chances. I think the only real chance we had in that first half was a shot outside the box from Dewsbury Hall. who I thought had a good game, but we'll get onto that when we do the ratings. Yeah, the first half, just everything that we've seen in the past few months that we're not enjoying and we're moaning about. Um, yeah, you just don't want to see it at the end of the day. Maresca ball, so I got fly in my face. Enzo Maresca ball at the moment is just painful to watch, but that second half was entertaining. So if we can keep that level of football, or just how we're playing in that second half, I think Enzo Maresca will get a lot of people off his back. But by game by game by game, I can see it in the fan base. Obviously, everybody knows my opinion on it. I went early on him. I lost a lot of faith in him a very long time ago when he started putting down the team. But the fan base is starting to clock onto his nonsense, and he's losing them one by one. So it's like he's got to start winning the fans over, and by doing that, he's got to be getting results, and they've got to be like good football. Like I'm sure a lot of Chelsea fans would accept a draw at Brentford if the football was good, if it was intensified, if we really showed that like we could really win this game, and we just got unlucky. Obviously, at Chelsea, accepting a draw is just you're not going to win all the games, is what I'm trying to say. I don't mean it in a sense like we should be happy with the draw. I wasn't happy with the draw because we need every single point that we need to get, but we're not going to win every single game. But there's a way about going about things. And over the last few months, it's just been horrendous football, in my opinion. And that first half was a prime example of it. I mean, the thing is, we didn't play bad in the first half. We controlled the game very well. They didn't have anything going forward. They didn't have nothing to to bring to the table for against us. But it's just if we're going to play the game on the halfway line, the objective of the game is to score a goal. And if we can't score a goal, we're not meeting the objectives of football, So that aside, the second half now, much, 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 much better. So let's not dwell on the first half where, it weren't too good. Second half, brilliant. Expected goals, 3.57. And, you can see that the intensity was much better. We had better chances. We had obviously Tyreek George getting his first goal for the club, a shot from Reece James on the outside of the box. Parried by the goalkeeper, he tapped it in. A very good finish at the end of the day. And right place, right time, and he celebrates his first goal. Cobham boy, well done. Congratulations to Tyreek George. I'm well happy for him. And then you've got Noni Madueke, who's just, he came on, looked sharp, looked ready, looked like he wanted to win this game. And, it's for me, I felt like man of the match for me, by the way, man of the match, Noni Madueke. I felt like he came on the pitch today and just grabbed the ball, like, just said, this is my game, and he done it, and he tried taking on his player. I've always say this about him: he's very direct. You don't know which way he's going to go. He can get into the box, he can beat his player, drives into the box, creates panic for the defenders. And today, he was rewarded with 2 goals. Good positioning for both of them. His first goal was a great finish, and his second one, right place, right time, taps it in after a moment in the game where there was some negativity behind it. We just missed the penalty. So very good reaction from Chelsea after missing the penalty to keep probing and getting a goal. And we didn't stop. We carried on probing. Second half ball possession, 68%. Total shots, 14. Shots on target, 8. What a massive difference that is. Big chances, 5. Yeah. First half, 0 big chances. Shots on target, 2. Yeah. So it's a lot better than what we were doing in an attacking sense. And, like I said, the defence didn't really have much to do today. Jorgensen made one good save at the end, but I expect him to do that. So an expected performance from Jorgensen. But that second half, free-flowing, attacking football, that's exactly how we need to be going forward in the remaining games. We've got Ipswich at the weekend at home. And that's what I want to see. I just want to see Enzo Maresca say, let's go back to the start, how we started. I am not going to micromanage your positions and tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that. Go and win me the game. And that's how it needs to be. Go win the game. Stop all this nonsense. Stop this, just I can't think of the word at the moment of what it is. It's just nonsense football, in my opinion. Just micromanaging every single position to the point where we're nullifying the footballers and their talents. Let them go out there and play. Let them free flow attack. And, second half, brilliant. Well happy with that. And, we go into the second leg of that game with a 3-0 lead. So, if he wants to rest players now, we've got the opportunity to do so. And we're going to need that going into the next game. So we've got Ipswich the weekend, home game. Obviously, we want to get revenge for them for beating us away. And like I've said before, we haven't got much room now to not get 3 points. With the teams around us and their fixtures, I think we've got the toughest out of a lot of them, especially coming towards the end of the season. But I'm hoping now this will give them players a bit of a confidence boost, and we can go on and start going on a little run here, because we're going to need it when we start hitting them tough teams. Fulham away is going to be a tough game, but I'm expecting us to win and get some revenge on them beating us at home. Everton have always been a little bit of a bogey club for us, but I'm expecting us to go out and win. And then when we play Chelsea, I keep saying Chelsea, when we go and play Liverpool at home now, we've got to get a result. We've got to get a result, because these points matter right now, especially with like I said, the teams around us and their fixtures. I've been I'm trying to be realistic about it, but for where I think we're going to finish, I think it's obviously a negative spin on it, but that comes off the back of since December, the nonsense that we've had to put up with, and we've seen, and a lot of people a lot of fans refuse to see it how it really is. But anyway, let's get on to the lineups and how I think they played. Jorgensen, again, an expected performance. I thought he'd done okay. When he was called upon late upon the game, he made a good save. I thought he'd done okay. Gusto at left back, I thought he'd done okay. Nothing special. Same with the two centre backs. Didn't really have to do much, but when called upon, done okay. I thought Bedeshield done all right, to be fair. I thought he'd done covered well. Special shout out for Chempong, because the more that he plays, the more confident he's getting. And you could see that in his performance today. I thought he played very well. Dewsbury Hall, surprisingly, the more that he plays, the more I can see what he contributes to the team. He's not this amazing, flary player, but he's not a terrible player. I actually think he's all right. And I thought he had a very good game today. He got into some good, dangerous positions. He could have had a couple of goals if it was just a little bit to the left, And I think he missed a header at one point as well. So, I was happy with Dewsbury Hall today. Again, we've got to consider that the opponent that we're playing against. Reece James, I thought he had a solid game in centre midfield, as per usual. We're starting to see the Reece James of before, as obviously he's starting to meet his. Let me start again. As he's starting to, come back to his match fitness, I think we're starting to see the best of him again. So I think he's got a little bit of way to go, but it won't be long. Touch wood, because we don't, touch wood. Don't want him getting injured or anything. But, I think Maresca managed his minutes accordingly today. He brought him off quite early, although I did think he didn't have to start him. Hopefully we're going to see the best of him soon. Then you've got Jadon Sancho. For me, that's your best performance in a long time. First half, I thought you were doing your normal stuff. But then that second half, I thought you came out with, like I said, a bit of intensity, a bit of drive. And it seemed like you and Noni Madueke wanted to just, take the ball by the horns and say, right, you know what? This game's ours. Let's change it. So I'm happy with Sancho. He got 2 assists today, both for Noni Madueke. Palmer, I don't think he did amazing today, Palmer. I just thought he was just there, just a meh performance, nothing special. And then you've got Tyreek George as well. I thought he had a decent game. Obviously, he managed to notch a goal, his first Chelsea goal. I thought he looked good playing through the centre, to be fair. And then we've got Nkunku now. It's just not going for him, is it? Obviously missed the penalty. He's obviously got question marks about his attitude in the team. Me personally, I feel like he's been mismanaged at this club. He's obviously not a striker. That's clear to see. I think he plays better off on the left, but then, there's the question marks about his effort and what he's really doing. But, if you've been managed like that, I wouldn't give a fuck either. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them ones. we all know what it's going to be at the end of the season. We're not going to see this guy next year. It's unfortunate because I did think he was a brilliant signing when we first got him, and then obviously injuries haven't helped. So unfortunate for him. But you know what? Today, again, I think we lacked something up top. I don't really think he adds to the team, which is a big problem. And you need a focal point up top. You need a presence up top to, really, like, if you're not causing problems for the defender as a striker, it makes it easy for them. You see how Noni came on the right, and he caused problems for that left back, and it creates chances. It panics the defense. It makes them do things that they're not expected to do. Rattles them. So for me, yeah, not the greatest of performances again from Nkunku. Levi Cole coming on second half. Thought we done okay again. Not much to do. Madueke, man of the match for me. 2 goals, and I just think he changed the game. Cucurella, thought he came on, done his job as per usual. It's just normal for him now. Just consistent level of performance from Cucurella. Mugu and Mweka obviously didn't get long on the pitch. They got about 15, 20 minutes. Mweka, the one thing I'd say about him is he's trying really hard at the moment. You can see that he wants to, impress. He's getting his body involved in a lot. I'd like to see more of him, to be fair. He does really well in the academy, scores a lot of goals. Mugu didn't really focus on him. I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest with you. So I'm not going to comment on his performance. I didn't see too much of him to say if he played well or played not or didn't play well. So I'm not going to comment on him. But yeah, for me, that's it. Not really much more to say. I'm happy that we got the win. We go into the second leg with a 3-0 win, and that will be at home. So, an opportunity to rest players in a very intense ending to the season, which it shouldn't be. We should be comfortable. We should be plain sailing, but we're not. We are where we are. Everybody, if you've been tuning in recently, you'd know the reason. Well, what I believe the reason is why we are where we are. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, leave a like button. And if you want to get involved in any debates, just get in the chat or message me on my socials. They'll be in the description. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. That'll be 2 o'clock against Ipswich at home. And I'll see you there. That'll be a live stream. So get your notifications on. You can see when I go live. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.